It's ChrystalChyna, and it's our birthday! Oh my gosh!
Yes! Today, your favorite twins are 26 years old.
We made it! And this one is very special because it is our golden birthday! We are 26 on the 26th. And to celebrate our golden 26th birthday, we wanted to make a video not only celebrating our birthday, but also discussing the, conception and our arrival into the world. Nothing gross, of course, but our arrival into the world and our very distinctive lives as twins. Yes. Let's get it.
Let's take it all the way back. We're going to start back like 1994, about 2 years before we came into this world.
Before we were even thought of.
In 1994, our parents, Horace and Benita, our mom at that time was Benita Hill and our dad, Horace Ford Johnson. They were dating. If you guys don't know, we do have an older brother. My mom had a teenage son and she was dating this guy that she was really starting to get into. And he expressed to her that, I want to get married. I want to have a family. Like, I want children. And considering our mom already had a child that she was almost done raising, she was not on the same page with that. And she did not want to string him along into thinking that, it's going to happen. And really, she just was not on that timing at the moment. And she was like, we might have to break up because, I don't want no more kids. And, he's like, no, like, I definitely want to continue seeing you, because our dad at that point was in love with her and she was in love with him. And they, at the end of the day, there was no letting go of each other, but she just didn't feel like it would be fair for her to continue dating him, knowing that at that time they didn't want the same things. So our mom, while they were still dating, she said to him, just don't press me about it too much. Like, let me just get used to the idea. Just don't keep pressing me. And he did just that. He listened. He did not press on the issue because I feel like that would have irritated the situation even more. And definitely, we probably wouldn't even be here.
So in July of 1995, after courting each other, being in love with each other, and all of that good stuff that, couples do, our parents ended up getting married.
Period.
He put a ring on it.
It didn't take long for him to know she was the one.
She was the one. They got married in July of 95. Then, touching back on what Chyna was talking about our mom not wanting to be pressured into the idea of having any more children. Around Christmas time in 95, just a couple of days after Christmas, our mom just randomly says, "I'm ready." And then our dad did not know what the heck she was talking about. Like, what are you referring to? And she said, "I'm ready for the baby." And he literally, my mom says, he scooped me up and took me to the free clinic around the corner.
In Lamert.
And I will put the little picture because it's the same clinic that Yvette was at on Baby Boy.
In the opening scene of Baby Boy, the clinic that, Yvette is coming out of, that's where they went. And that's where our mom she took care of relieving herself from her birth control. So he literally took her, he scooped her up and was like, "Let's go, woman, we got to go." He was ready. And my mom was just, I do remember her talking to us about how she said that she was ready because she had really been processing it, and that's what she really did end up wanting. It wasn't a thing of like he really did press her. Like she did it on her own terms. She said even when she said "I'm ready," it's not something that
pondered
on. Like, it wasn't a knee-jerk decision. It's not something she just pondered on for the last couple of days. Oh, how am I gonna say it? No, the Spirit led her to say it at that time. So,
they took care of business.
First of all, this is not too long after the Waiting to Exhale movie and soundtrack came out. Our mom wore that soundtrack out. And one of her favorite songs was from one of our favorites, Miss Whitney Houston, Shoot. Okay, so just to put that out there, that's the song we was conceived to.
That's a damn miracle.
Falls in love sometimes. Sometimes it's wrong, and sometimes it's right. With every wind.
Yeah.
We were conceived to that song.
Yes.
So. I hope that's not too much information. I just kind of felt that was special. You know,
Yeah, that's a great song.
That's a great song, and I don't think you hear too much about people actually, planning for children anymore. So I feel like that's special to mention. Like,
right.
They really, it was something that this is what they prayed for.
Mm-hmm.
This is love. This is kiss me. This is
right.
all that. So yeah.
And mind you, in the process of conceiving us, our dad was going around or telling my mom that he wanted two, and then our mom was like, well, you better pray for twins because I'm not doing this twice. Period.
So every chance you got, are you praying for twins? Are you praying for twins? Are you praying for twins? So I mean, let's just keep, we're gonna bring that back. We're gonna bring it back. In January of 96, our mom was in Vancouver with our godmom. Our godmom was filming a movie called Abducted, A Father's Love. And Chris Noth, Mr. Big
from Sex in the
City, one of our favorite shows, he was the lead. So our mom was in Vancouver shooting that. Our mom was just talking to us about how cold it was and how she would put heating pads in her clothes because that's how cold it was. But at that time, our mom did realize that her stomach started spreading out that way. Like, just going outward. Not even, like, rounding out, but just spreading outward. And she
was telling some crew members, she was like, I think I'm pregnant. But she said that when she was saying it, she didn't realize really what she was saying. And like, she said that she had called her dad while she was there. She was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm pregnant. Like, my stomach is starting to like look it's kind of spreading. And he said, well, if you're not pregnant, then we gonna get you in the gym. No, I mean, I guess, because our mom really was a brick house.
Yes.
Slim waist, flat stomach, just bomb. So I get it. He wanted to protect it. Our dad was not a jerk by any means. That was probably really a joke. But anyway.
Seeing as though our mom was experiencing the symptoms of pregnancy, as soon as she returned home from filming in Vancouver, she took a home pregnancy test with our dad, and it was confirmed that she was preggers.
Not pregger. Pregnant. He got her pregnant.
And then they went to the free clinic.
The same one.
Just to confirm things.
And my mom was like, I had health insurance and everything. It was just right there.
Exactly.
It was
convenient. $10 copay.
Exactly.
You beat a $10 copay. That's another conversation. But after the clinic, then she went to her doctor, and that's when she started her prenatal care.
So if you guys know a little bit about us, you know that our mom has had an extensive career in the entertainment business. So even by the time we were born, our mother was still traveling, and not only traveling within the States, but also traveling outside the country until she was 8 months pregnant. It wasn't until she literally had to stop because her OBGYN demanded that she,
after her New York trip,
that was it. Because when she heard that our mom went to Jamaica and she was living it up and on her feet and working and partying and everything, she was not happy.
Right.
And we want to remind you guys, or we haven't even mentioned it, our mom was 40.
Yeah, she was in advanced maternal age.
Right.
Her OBGYN initial thoughts would be that our mom would have to be on bed rest, and she would have to be under a lot of supervision in order to carry us safely. Our mom didn't have to do any of that. Our mom would carry her bags by herself. She didn't need any help.
No.
She was living
not
her
handicapped.
life. No, she did not become handicapped from being pregnant with twins at 40. And her doctor was like, wow, like, you're doing better than the young girls that I see that I have to take care of. Like, our mom really did beat the expectations of a lot of people. So, I mean, even though she beat the expectations. Her doctor still told her that 8 months she has to stop traveling.
Right. And she had to listen.
And she had to listen.
Going back to the part when our mom and our dad was telling everybody to pray for twins.
Pray for twins.
Exactly. Our mom had, one of her doctor's appointments, and it was an ultrasound that was being done. And right in the middle of my mom asking, like, are you able to tell if there's two in there? And right before she can even finish, the technician was like, do you know there's two in there? And my mom was like, your dad literally slid down his chair because he was like, this heifer done got her dream. Like, or her wish, or her prayer.
Yeah.
Like, prayer really is a real thing.
It really is a real thing.
Like, come on now. And my mom really is a person who is a true believer in prayer and manifestation. So she really prayed her way for her twins.
Yes,
and she got them.
She did. Twins run on our dad's side of the family.
Right.
But just because of that, you can't really bank on that all
Right.
the time. I mean, however, what played in the genetics or whatever, we do know that prayer really played a part in ChrystalChyna coming about. And also, we have a god sister who was born months before we were. She was born in January of 96. Our dad, when he first held her, that's when he realized that he wanted daughters.
Right.
So not only were they getting twins, they later found out that they were getting daughters.
Exactly.
I remember our mom always talks about, her telling our godmom that it's going to be twins, and our godmom was in the grocery store screaming at the top of her lungs, excited, because everything was just coming together.
Right.
Everything that our parents wanted, it was just, it was
happening.
special. My mom had a special, happy pregnancy. This is also our godmom's Stardust era. And, while our mom was pregnant with us, there's pictures. Hopefully we can insert it here or there.
Right. Down here.
Whatever. We're going to insert it somewhere. There's pictures of her in the recording studio. Our mom is a part of the recording process. She was there for all the studio visits, any press, any touring, anything leading up to the release of the album, which actually came out on September 24th, 1996, 2 days before our birth. So she was there through all of that. Our mom was working her tail off. She even talks about how, and this is not even just with this particular project, but with different projects of our godmoms, our mom would be giving like the sheet music to see which changes, or I guess you can say edits, needed to be made. And she talks about like working with Phil Ramone and how nice he was, because with this album it was produced by George Duke, David Foster, and Phil Ramone, and she just always talks about like Phil Ramone, how nice he was. Unfortunately, he has passed away. And so has Mr. George Duke, which we also have gotten a chance to meet.
Yes.
That's what we get into, the life that we have lived, and the legends that we've been able to be around. But our mom will always be on the same page as the producers, which always made her feel good.
That's where we get our music. Musicology
from. It's from her. So she's the original musicologist.
Exactly. So we wanted to get on the topic of our names.
Yes.
Because, we'll get into it, but after a certain somebody put it out there that we were named after dishes, that kind of got everything.
Well, it's not that she said we were named after dishes. It's like, it was the comparison. It's like, oh, ChrystalChyna like dinnerware.
Right.
So it's like, no. I mean, I understand that's the first thing that people think of. However, we were not named after dinnerware.
Right.
My name is Chyna Maria Johnson. However, I'm not the first Chyna in the family. The way it happened is our mom always wanted to have a daughter to name her Chyna. Our mom has always adored the name Chyna. If you guys are familiar with the Mamas and the Papas from the 60s, they're the ones that sang California Dreamin'. John and Michelle Phillips, they had a daughter named Chyna Phillips. And our mom just always was she was just enamored with that name Chyna. Like, it's different. It's It's, of course, it's named after the country China, but the spelling CHYNA, like it kind of just has like an edge to it.
I think hers is spelled with two N's.
Yeah, I think hers is spelled with two N's. But our mom just always loved that. And China is a part of Wilson Phillips. If you guys have ever seen Bridesmaids, you guys know what song we're talking about. Someday somebody's gonna make you wanna turn around and say goodbye. And baby, are you gonna let the honey make you cry? You know, baby, it'll go your way if you hold on for one more day. Can you hold on for one more day? Things will go your way. Hold on for one more day. Yes, I love that song. And my middle name, Maria, I actually am named for my godmom, and so is Crystal. But my middle name, Maria, essentially it's derived from our godmom's mother's name, who is Maria.
Right.
And our godmom's middle name was Maria. So our godmom's name was Natalie Maria Cole. So my name is China Maria Johnson. See, you know, the generations of family.
Now we gonna have to find another Maria.
Exactly. We gonna have to find another Maria. We gotta pass this on.
Exactly.
I am named for my mom and my godmom.
Now me, Crystal, I'm not sure where the name came from, but I feel like it's just a name that my dad really liked and loved. My godmother insisted that my name was going to be Brielle, and that she didn't care if I was named Crystal, she was gonna call me Brielle. And my mom was like, "You can't tell her dad what he can and can't name her." It's
Like,
like,
I'm gonna call her Brielle.
I don't care. Like that. Oh my god. She hated being told no. But my name ended up being Crystal Brielle. So yeah, that's how my name came about.
Yes.
But I am named after my godmother did name me.
Right.
So
Yes.
So like we were saying, our mother's OBGYN, who was actually Dr. Carol Jordan Harris, she demanded that our mom, at her 8th month, she had to completely stop. So that meant our mom was going to be at home, bored by herself, while our dad was at work. Leading up to that, our mom now is like really, I guess maybe because she was bored, she's feeling the pain more and things are getting more intense as she's carrying us. So on the night of September 7th, our mom actually ended up having a false labor. She called everybody that was supposed to be there in terms of like her delivery team, which included our godmother. Our godmother took it upon herself. She was dating this guy at the time who had a sandwich shop. So they took it upon themselves to bring a whole bunch of sandwiches and drinks and laughs to the hotel, to the hospital room.
Right. So it was at that point like a hotel.
Right. It was at Cedars-Sinai, exactly. But they took it upon themselves to bring a party. And also, like, our mom's other friends, our Aunt Renildra and her friend Jan had also came. And it was like a real party.
Not that our mom
intended for it to be that way, but they really thought we were going to come that night.
Yes.
And we did not. And our mother's doctor,
our Aunt Renildra was dancing.
Our Aunt Renildra was dancing, and they was just having a good old time.
I don't know if they were trying to get her to like loosen up so she can deliver us, but I think that would make her more intense.
Yeah, I think our mom actually was irritated because she couldn't even eat the food anyway. Like in those when you're well, even when you're thinking you're in labor, I don't think you're allowed to even. So we got back to our mother's doctor, and as we said, this was a false labor, so nothing happened that night. It got back to our mom's doctor, and she told her, for the real time, we will not be having any party. It's go time.
So on the morning of September 24th, they did induce her. She once again was not allowed to eat anything. And she had to lay on her side for 2 days. Her left side. She could not switch sides. She had to lay on one side for 2 days.
Our mother's doctor also had a trip to go on, so she was trying to make sure that she got us out
Right, while she was in town.
She
did not want to. That's how much our mom's doctor cared about our mom. She did not want to pass her on to somebody else.
Right.
She wanted to make sure that, okay, let's do this. Right. I got somewhere to be, but I also don't want to put you in the hands of nobody else.
Exactly. So by the 25th, we still had not come yet. It was an executive decision by the doctor to just go ahead and give our mom her epidural, just in case we did come later that night. And at that time, right before the nurses had came in to actually give our mom the epidural, our dad had actually left to go get something to eat. He went across the street to go get some food, so it was just her and our godmother in the room. And the nurses, I guess they had to put the epidural, I think, in her back, but they couldn't get it in there right. So my mom is on her, she's sitting up, but she's in like excruciating pain as they're trying to get this needle in. And the pain was so bad that our mom said she had her head buried in our godmom's stomach with her arms wrapped around her like this because the pain was so bad. And our mother's OBGYN was so upset with the nurses that they were messing up and not able to get it in her correctly. Eventually they did get it in her correctly though. Right. And even after all that, she still wasn't even dilated past 2 centimeters. I'm really sorry, Mommy. I'm sorry.
Crystal and I, we must have known something
we were
that
fighters.
Everybody else did not. We were not
ready for this world.
No. I don't take it back.
No. So early on the morning of Thursday, September 26th, our mother's doctor decided that she had to do an emergency C-section. Our mom was already scheduled to have a natural birth, but because things were starting to get a little bit more dangerous
and our heart rates
were going up and down, they had to do an emergency C-section to get us out of there. And plus our mom was actually in a lot of pain, so they had to hurry up and get us out. So after all that, our mom's delivery team was called. Our dad was already with her, but our godmother had to come because she was a part of the delivery team.
And at that point, actually, our godmom was prepping to be on the Tonight Show.
Right.
Even though it's called the Tonight Show, they film it in the morning. So she's getting ready to prepare to go shoot her episode that day, and our mom is like, hey, like, they're prepping everything for the C-section,
and she came.
She was not going to miss that for anybody. That's why I love my godmom so much. She was one of the first faces we ever saw.
Exactly.
While they were prepping our mom for her emergency C-section, they had Stardust playing in the background. It was a whole vibe. We were coming into great music and love and people ready to meet us.
And, yeah, we were coming into a great environment.
We really were. ChrystalChyna, I was born first. I am baby A. I was born first at 10:47 a.m. at 5 pounds 8 ounces.
And I, Crystal baby B.
Yes.
I was born at 5 pounds and 14 ounces. And we were both 19 inches.
As I said, I was the first to come out. I am baby A.
We are 2 minutes apart.
And as they pulled me out, I mean, I did a little light cry, like, okay, fine, I'm here. I came out. Dang. What more do you want from me? Well, as soon as I came out, she literally flipped back up. And they were like, oh my gosh, she flipped. Like, and our mom was saying, even though she felt a lot of pressure, she literally could feel Crystal flip back up here.
Which would have made me, well, it did make me a breech baby. They did get me out, and I came out with a fight. Clearly.
I did
okay, stop. They got me out. Just let me talk. They got me out. And I came out with a fight because I came out peeing on everybody. And I didn't care.
She peed on the doctor.
I peed on the doctor.
It's okay because I came out with a scrunched up
I was
face,
like that's what they said. I was like, I knew something about this world. already.
We were on to something.
I was on to something, okay?
Not to mention, Crystal always stole my food in the womb too, which explains why I'm always so hungry and I eat the most out of everybody in the house.
She does. She'll eat us out of a house and a home.
Yeah.
We call her, or well, our dad named her Eat 'em Up.
Yeah.
And we still call her that to this day.
As we're coming out, our godmom, it just comes to her that it is also her younger twin sister's birthday, Kimberly and Casey, and we have the same birthday,
and we're also 2 minutes
and
apart.
They are also 2 minutes apart. So it is kind of like wow, like very kismet, very, I don't know, like kindred. The way that our spirits, it's just, we were meant to be in each other's lives.
Yeah.
Godmommy was meant to be our godmom. Nobody else was meant to be our godmom. Our mom was meant to be our mom. Our dad was meant to be our dad. Our mom and godmom were meant to be best friends. Like, that's just the way that it worked out.
It was a spiritual connection.
It really
was a godly connection. Yeah. As we have previously mentioned, our godmother was scheduled to appear on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And right after we were born and we took our pictures and we were bonding. She cut my umbilical cord.
And my dad cut mine.
Yes, putting that out there. So we had our bonding time. She had to rush to go film the show. And that's where our birth was announced. And we will put the clip in this video.
You know something? It makes you cry.
I don't know.
I remember my mom cried the day your father died. I remember as a kid, and I just my mom sobbing.
Well, we lost
more
than just a singer. We lost like a period of time.
Oh yeah, but it's so eerie to see. It's great though. I just he's watching, going, oh, that's great. I mean, it really is. Now you almost didn't make it here today. Were you,
I know.
You delivering a baby?
I was delivering a baby.
Oh, that's exciting. No, what?
My girlfriend of over 20 years delivered twins, and she held them off and on. She was supposed to have them a month ago, and I was out of town, and she said, well, I'm just going to hold them in until you get back. I said, what are you talking about? She says, you have to be with me. We've been through too much. I have to have them when you're here. And
Did you do the whole Lamaze thing?
Well, she had a C-section.
Oh, okay.
So I went in with her husband. She wanted me as half of the labor team, So I was the other half. I cut the umbilical cord. The twins are China and Crystal, like dinner. My favorite meal.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's really exciting.
That was great.
Oh, that's neat.
It was really amazing. Absolutely amazing. They're beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that's where she announced our birth, and literally
that's how people
found out that we were here. And my mom was like, the hospital room, the phone could not stop ringing. And she was like, the next thing I know, I'm getting like deliveries for flowers and gifts and phone calls, balloons, and she was like, literally the hospital room was just filled with flowers and gifts, and like people were just calling and congratulating us, and that's the reason they knew we were born, because your godmother. And we were going back to our names because she put it out there that she was like, she was like, the twins are named China and Crystal, like dinnerware, your favorite meal. And that's why people like sometimes will think that our names were purposely like, oh, China and Crystal. And that's not why. We did explain earlier.
Right.
But I think it's really a coincidence. And I love my name. And I
absolutely. It is a coincidence. But Crystal and I have it is a coincidence. Crystal and I have also, I guess you can say in a way, appropriated it to work in our favor, because China and Crystal, they are very special.
Right. Delicate.
They are delicate, and, you have to treat them with care.
Exactly.
And they are very rich. Like,
fragile.
So I'm like, that sounds like the real ChrystalChyna. So I'll go with it.
Exactly. When we were born, we were even gifted with Tiffany's China and Crystal.
So, it kind of goes with the brand.
Exactly.
Then we were born with the brand.
That's tight, though.
Yeah. So, just getting into our lives as twins and the ChrystalChyna that you know today, I would think that you can kind of assume that we have lived like an eventful life.
Distinctive.
Very distinctive. Like, I know that a lot of the experiences that we have, a lot of people don't have. It's just not common.
Right.
For us to be like, yeah, I can relate to this, but I've always also done this.
Right.
So it's just so many parts of the spectrum. Her mom was always on the road. First of all, Crystal and I have never been afraid of airplanes. And I do think that's also part of, because our mom traveled while she was pregnant with us. And then we traveled. Also, our first trip was when we were 2 months old. So, we didn't have any space to create a fear of flying.
Right. I remember our mom and our dad will always tell us, like, every time we would bring on the plane, people would get so nervous because don't nobody want to hear crying babies on the plane. But after the plane ride would be over, they would come up to us and compliment us on how good you guys were. They were like, they are the perfect babies. You guys were just not fussy babies like on plane rides.
My mom didn't believe in pacifiers.
No, there are no baby pictures of us with pacifiers.
We never used pacifiers. So our mom, she just knew all the tricks,
right?
Clearly, because we didn't need pacifiers. So our mom just trained us how to behave since we were new babies, infants. Our mom went back to work after 4 months of maternity leave, and then after she settled things with getting a nanny, she was able to bring us with her on the road for periods of time, which was great for us because we did need to still have our bonding time with her.
Right.
And she made sure that happened.
Yeah. And we still were able to be with both our mom and our dad.
Right.
But yeah, we've been able to travel a lot, go on actual tour buses, the road. Like, they would let us be like the little assistants on the road, and we took real pride in that. Those were that was fun for us. We've been able to be around a lot of legends who, obviously our family, yes, but I'm talking about outside. We've been able to be very young and sit at tables with people that a lot of people just love and adore, and we were so young. And of course we knew who these people were, but it just was a part of our lives that we got the opportunity to be at tables with Quincy Jones and David Foster.
I'll never forget any Quincy Jones.
I will never forget that. Literally, that was a few months after our Sweet 16, and that night, it was at our Auntie Shaka's 60th birthday party. It's the best night of our lives. He apparently, because our mom was sitting at the main table with Shaka, and Quincy Jones was also sitting at that table, but me and Chyna were sitting at another table with some other guests, and the other guest was like, guys, Quincy Jones just called you guys hot. And I was like, oh. A big Sweet 16.
And I'm thinking
that was nothing can top this right now. And surely here comes Quincy Jones, and he's talking to us, and Shaka's introducing us as her proteges, and he's giving us these big wet fat kisses on the cheek, like a grandpa or a father embracing us. And I will never forget that. I'll always have that with me. But that's what I mean. We live very distinctive lives.
Man, we learned how to walk while we was on the road.
Right.
Our mom said we didn't even crawl. We were walking, and we walked on the stage.
Right.
Times. A lot of fans of our godmom, who our mom is actually cool with, friends with, they always talk about a moment where Crystal and I both came on the stage. And I guess our godmom had no clue that I had toddled on the stage, and I'm like, I guess I'm passing her another microphone. And at first, all the audience is clapping, and she's thinking she's doing her thing, right? But then she looks down and she sees me, and I'm trying to hand her the microphone. Here comes Crystal, and they put us up in her little high seat, and we were able to sit there for a few songs. So I'm like, I guess Crystal and I were always kind of made for the entertainment. I guess.
Yes. Don Cornelius, he was technically the first to give us our first shot, even though technically we failed. It was some type of Christmas special tied in with Soul Train that our godmother was performing at. And it wasn't supposed to be televised. Yeah. I think it was supposed to be televised. And we had done so well at the dress rehearsal because we were just sitting at on another high chair or sitting with her and watching her perform. We were probably barely 2 if we were even 2 years old. and we were just, playing the part.
I cringe.
Like, she was singing to us. Like, I guess that was our normal thing, but it was a dress rehearsal, so obviously it wasn't the real thing yet. And Don Cornelius said to our mom, like, hey, like, do you, like, can they come back and actually film that? Because that was, like, literally a picture perfect moment. And when it was time, we were not ready.
We had like a moment.
No, we had a meltdown.
I'm not sure if you guys have been to like, award shows. If it's not like live, then they can just retake it.
Exactly.
So they had to take us off the stage and retake the performance. But hey, it was a good first try. This was not our day.
He did give us our first shot in the entertainment industry. Our first gig.
Just talking about like our parents. Our parents have always been involved in every aspect of our lives. They always made sure that we were active in something. Initially, we were always active in singing and dancing and playing the piano. Unfortunately, we got into cheer, which, that actually may be a story time. So put that in the comments section if you want a story time on our cheerleading.
Yeah, we were cheerleaders for Snoop Dogg's football league.
Yeah, so I can just from that you can assume that we got some stories on that. Right. But our parents were so involved in making sure that we were active in a lot, because also Crystal and I got picked on a lot. If you can see some of our other story times talking about bullying, and a lot of times it also has to do with the twin thing. I think sometimes people get intimidated when there's two. Yeah, as far as like y'all, I don't know what it is.
I think as we got older, first of all, twins are very rare.
They are,
especially identical twins. And I guess in some people's cases, I'm not saying that this is true or rare. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people don't meet black twins. So I remember somebody said, I ain't never seen no pretty dark-skinned twins before. And I'm like, I'll take it. Kids really just used to be so angry and jealous. And it wasn't just the twin thing. There was so many other things. And, like, just all the experiences that we just talked about. People could not understand how we've lived so many distinctive lives. Like, me and Chyna are able to relate on so many different levels of everything because we've literally been exposed to everything. We've been exposed to a privileged lifestyle. Me and Chyna, we were born with silver spoons in our mouth. But do we also know what a struggle is like? Yes. And the thing is, like, people cannot, sometimes I think it makes people a little aggravated because they can't understand us. And that's okay. Like, I'm cool.
It's not for me to make
for me to make you understand us. So
our mom will always throw things for our school. We'll partner with Magic Johnson. And for example, when the Keela and the Bee came out, they rented out the whole Magic Johnson theater. She partnered with Magic Johnson. He sponsored it. And she was able to get our school, our class especially, the whole 4th grade class, to be able to go see Keela and the Bee. Our mom was involved.
Right, she was the front woman. Yeah, because she was also involved in the sponsorship.
Exactly. So like our mom was able to make so many things happen, and so was our dad. Like, they would do the career day together. Our mom put together a major career day for our school, and then she put together spelling bees. Like, she really was on it. And our dad, they really were just on it and making sure that not only us, but all the kids got a chance to experience things. Because, it might not carry on to middle school, but at least they would have gotten it in elementary school. Yeah, we have great parents.
Yeah, we did.
I can't complain. Going out to industry events with our mom and
going to Capitol Records and meeting George Duke and being around David Foster since you were an infant, and just living a different lifestyle. Being around Magic Johnson's kids, Elisa, and everything.
Elisa, like, for our second birthday, we had like 3 birthday parties. One in Hawaii. one in LA and one in New York. And this is around the time The Lion King on Broadway came out. In New York, we went to go see The Lion King with our mom, our godmom, Mrs. Cookie Johnson, and Elisa. And our mom just talks about how we were all so little, our legs were swinging in the chairs like that. So I have experienced so much. Thankfully, we have been able to see Elisa after that too. You know? As at that time we were teenagers. Hopefully we get to see her again because she's really cool.
Yeah,
but,
she really is.
You know, I'm like, I have lived a great life. I mean, I can't complain. It's only up from here. As we're turning 26, it's like, surely I know we want more for ourselves, but to look back and it's like we've already had a great head start.
into this world blessed and loved and exposed.
Yes.
To great things. And we push and aim to be great.
Yes.
And I'm excited for this new chapter and our golden birthday.
Yes.
I'm really excited to be 26. Like, I keep thinking I'm 26 already.
Right.
I already thought I was 26 already, like a year ago, because I've been ready for this birthday.
26.
26. And trying to continue to work, even when we have letdowns. And we have letdowns almost all the freaking time.
The part of
I know you'll be like, where's the music? But that's the thing, though. We are pushing.
Yes, and we have been pushing.
And we have been pushing. So it's coming. And I'm really excited about this chapter in our lives because you'll never get a golden birthday ever again. Right. That our birthday is 9/26/96 and we're turning 26 on the 26th. That is very special.
It is.
So we're going to spend it with our friends and we're going to turn up and do positive things and keep making these wonderful videos and more story times, of course, as well as our musicologies. And I'm excited.
I'm excited. And I'm glad that I have somebody to share my birthday.
Me too. You're my best friend.
I'm not selfish. You're my best friend. It's our birthday.
It's our birthday. And I love you so much. You're my best friend.
Can we have cheesecake? Cheesecake and tacos. Yeah.
My heart.
You're my best friend. But thank you guys for watching this video. And thank you guys for even just being there for us.
Right.
You guys are the ones that keep us going.
Yes.
Saying we want more videos. I'm like, this is what we wanted.
Right.
We just want the support. And you guys are giving us that.
Yes.
To propel us to keep going forward and to not give up.
And we love y'all.
We love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.